last minute voice chat to just go over some things and talk about the launch, things that I wasn't really able to talk about because we were so preoccupied with the launch and extremely busy with all of the things going on behind the scenes. Um, I got 2 hours worth of sleep in like 48 hours, and I got some sleep yesterday, and now today is the first time I've had a chance to wake up and reflect on the launch after getting some sleep. So, um, the launch went well. I'm happy with how the launch went. We had no major issues at all. As far as the contracts go, like all of the important functionality and all of the backend stuff, everything worked perfectly, very smooth. We had some small UI things, which is very hard when you have such a big project like this. It's hard to get all of the small UI things down, but it will be a lot easier in the future. So one of the reasons why this was such a hard launch for us is because I had to switch out the dev team like 80% of the way through with building it. And I had to bring on a whole nother dev team. I had to teach them everything about the project. I had to go over the previous devs' work with them, like line by line, explaining everything and going over everything. And then once I got them up to par, had to walk them through the development process and do a lot of the development. And then we added the liquidity to the dogs token, and there was still more development that needed to be done because we decided to make the adjustments with drip and all of that. And since I had already added the liquidity, it meant that I had to do a ton of the dev work myself because at that point I couldn't give keys to anybody. So I was extremely busy and have been extremely busy with development stuff up till about this morning. Now, this morning, all of the backend stuff is done, and I don't do much website stuff. I got a front end guy, so today I'm mostly just spending time answering people's questions. There's a lot of new people. Obviously, there's a lot of people that didn't read the wiki, didn't read anything, didn't come in the voice chat, and they got a lot of questions. So I'm doing my best to answer people's questions. There's some UI stuff that we still want to do. One example of this is the dog pound UI. We want to add more decimals because we only have 2 decimals there. And since you're earning B&B, and that B&B is being utilized to buy dogs and pair it to make LPs, and then those LPs are making pigs, some of the people with relatively small stakes think that they're not earning pigs, but that's just because there's only 2 decimal places there. And say you have a couple $100 staked. Now you've earned actually, let me just say a value that I think I'm pretty confident. I think someone had like $5,000 staked. They earned like $100, $150 or something worth of B&B from that stake in one day. That B&B was used to buy dogs, and that dog B&B LP token was staked in the farm to earn pigs. Now, some of them are wondering, well, why don't I see my pigs yet? And the answer is because if you have like $50 worth of dogs B&B in the farm, and it didn't get placed there until 24 hours after launch. And that means you've only been earning pigs for a couple hours now. And I mean, how many pigs do you expect to earn in a couple hours from $50 worth of LP tokens? And if you only have 2 decimal places, or two zeros after the decimal place, you may not see them, because it's not enough to show up in that resolution. But if you go to Debanked, if you put your wallet into Debanked, you'll see that, oh, I do have pigs that I've earned. I do have LPs that I've earned. And we're going to add more resolution to these numbers in the Dog Pound dashboard, so people can see if even if they've earned a small amount. You can also see, if you look at LPs available, it should say the amount of LPs that you have available. But I knew there would be some confusion around the Dog Pound auto pool, just because the LPs are not bought, or sorry, the LPs are constantly bought, but the LPs are not credited until 24 hours after your stake. And then the pigs are not credited as far as what you're earning until 48 hours after. So that means some people who have got in, even if they've only gotten at launch, have not seen their pig rewards yet, or the pig rewards that they have earned, because they have a relatively small stake, are not large enough to see. But if you go to Debanked and you put in your wallet, you will see that you're earning both. Now, on top of this, I want to say that Animal Farm is built to snowball. So all of the BNB rewards go into a vault, and that vault pays out 3% of its balance daily, which means that the growth of this vault is going to be significant, exponential, once people start really trading dogs a lot and selling it, and utilizing it that way, actually trading it. And there's already something like $4 or $5 million, or maybe more, of BNB in that vault, paying out rewards. But this is going to grow massively once people start trading. And it's really going to start picking up in a few weeks, but it's never going to be one point where all of a sudden a bunch of dogs just are available and hit the market and unlock, because we don't have a vesting system like that. So the way it works is everybody's staking the Dog Pound in different days. And some are staking in the linear, which is reducing the tax on the dogs by 0.75% a day. And some are staking it in the compounding, which is reducing their tax by 1% a day. And when you have everybody staking at different times, different days, and having their tax reduced at different rates, and the dog token is just steadily rising day after day, which is going to happen, every individual is going to make up their own mind when it makes sense to take some profit on them by selling them. And there's going to be some large portion of people that aren't going to want to sell them at all, because the BNB and BUSD dividends that they're earning, even if at that specific time maybe they could sell to make a short-term profit that is more than they'll make in the next day or two in BNB and BUSD from dividends, it still is not worthwhile for them, because they know the dividends are only going to increase. And if they can utilize their tokens to increase their position to be able to earn those dividends, it doesn't make sense to sell, even if you could make a little bit more short-term profit at the time. But there will be some people who are in it for more short-term profit, and all of them will need to decide at their own rate when it makes sense for them to sell some. And people will sell some even at a 50% tax, or even at a 30% tax or 20% tax, because if the price is steadily going up and in a couple weeks it's up 20x or 50x or whatever it's up, then people will say, okay, uh, I've reduced my tax by 40%. That means I have to a 50% tax right now if I sold, but the price is up 20x. So if I sold and I paid a 10% tax, I paid a 50% tax, I'm still going to make 10x profit. And that might be the decision that that person wants to make. They're okay with paying a 50% tax because they're making a 10x profit from where they bought. And when that happens, the amount of BNB and BUSD that gets paid out based on the tax that's applied to their token is 10x what they put in, because it's 50% of the 20x that the price has appreciated since they got in. And this kind of compounded dividend payout is really going to make a major impact once these transactions start happening. So understand now that people are making something like I think it's something like 30 cents per pig steak, and maybe double that per dog steak or something, just off the top of my head. And that's 2 days after launch without any, well, barely any dog transactions. It's only going to increase from here. And on top of that, we have tens of millions of dollars worth of capital to both support the dog pound BNB dividends and the Pigpen BUSD dividends and the price and liquidity of dogs. So people see that I injected $2 million worth of BUSD today into the Pigpen. That increased the Pigpen payouts by something like 10x. And this is just the start. And I injected another $1 million worth of BNB into the dog pound and used $250,000 worth of BNB to support the price, to add that liquidity back in, but in a way that is supporting the price. And then all of that, all of the dogs associated with that buyback and associated with the deployer wallet, because some of the dogs I had from the buyback, some of them I had from minting extra when I initially initiated the dogs liquidity add and deployment, to ensure I had enough to cover all of the crediting and cover all of the adding LPs and all of that. And all of that was burned. So something like more than $6.8 million worth of dogs was burned, locking that liquidity in the liquidity pool forever. And this is just the beginning when it comes to that. We haven't even touched 20% of the capital that we can mobilize to support these things, because this isn't something that's going to be like an overnight thing, right? This is a long-term project, and we're going to use this capital to support the project over the long term, not for people that want to get in and make some money off a week's worth of buybacks and try to get out. That's not who we're rewarding in the system. So it's a long-term thing. And if people go to the deployer wallet, you can see it's the wallet that did the buyback. You can see how much capital is in there. So that's fully transparent. All the capital is in the same wallet. We're not moving it around or holding it in a bunch of different wallets. We kept it in one wallet so everybody can go and check and monitor it themselves. As far as future Pigpen injections, I had one guy complaining, like, you said you would do the Pigpen injections tomorrow. It's like, yeah, I meant when I woke up, right? It's like we're not all on the same what is it called? Time zones. We're not all in the same time zones. So what's tomorrow for you might not be tomorrow for me. But of course, as soon as I woke up today, I did the injection as promised, as stated. And now we will have a vote in the Pigpen to determine how often these injections happen, and then once that's locked in with the vote, it will be automated. So this way, there's no manual transactions that are taking place, and it's done in a fully decentralized manner. We have not injected any of the V2 lending capital, the capital that's earned from PancakeSwap lending. We haven't even touched it. I haven't even looked at it. Also, the piggy bank is injecting pigs into the pig pen, and that is automated. And I presume that that's going to pick up significantly due to the fact that the pig pen is a great way to earn compound interest in the form of pigs, which could then be utilized in the pig pen to increase it. Now, I would say the pig pen is a slightly higher risk model as far as volatility, not as far as like security or anything like that. Of course, everything's fully secure, but it's a little more volatile than the pig pen. So it's up to everybody to determine what meets their risk preferences. If it was me, I would probably put maybe 10-20% into the pig pen. 10-20% into the piggy bank, and utilize the rest in the pig pen. Or potentially put it all in the pig pen and then use some percentage of the BUSD I'm earning in the pig pen to pair with pigs and put into the piggy bank. But either way, my focus would be on the pig pen, but I would take advantage of the higher pigs yield that's taking place in the piggy bank. There are some things that we want to add and some of them are just a matter of turning on. This is drip liberation on the main site, which is done. It just needs to be pushed. The metrics for the farms and pools, which is showing future profit, like how much you'll make in a week, how much you make in a month, how much you'll make in a year. These things are ready to go. And there are a couple dog pound UI things that need to be tweaked. My UI guy is aware of all these things. I talked to him about it this morning before he went to sleep. He was up all night working on things. And when he gets back on, he's going to implement these things. Also, the piggy bank currently, if you try to deposit into a non-time lock piggy bank, it's not going to let you. This is going to be opened up so you can do that. But the reason why we haven't put super focus on that is because we had everything else to do as far as launching and all of that. And people can just start a new dog pound. Instead of depositing into an existing dog pound, you can just create a new dog pound stake and another dog pound stake. And there's no downside to this. So we had other priorities. But this will absolutely get done. All of these things I'm naming, the plan is to get them done by the start of next week. So starting next week, all of this stuff should be done. Also, the emissions. So right now, both are operating on restricted, which means that they can go lower. So if the price was to have a major correction from here, like a 25% or more correction, the emission rate would drop, allowing the tokens, the dog and pig tokens, to become deflationary. And if we have something like another $10 or $15 move up in dogs, then the dogs emission rate will go from restricted to peg. So they'll increase by about 25%, which means the APYs will increase by about 25%, which, of course, that's bullish. So It's bullish either way, though. That's how it's designed. It's designed so if the price is doing very well and there's a lot of people buying, we want to further incentivize those people to take those tokens they're buying and lock them up. And you do that by slightly increasing the APY. And if the price is correcting and there's some sell pressure there and there's a lack of demand, then the inflation rate adjusts, restricting the supply, allowing it to become deflationary, and allow the current demand to have a positive impact on the price. So either way, it's bullish. I mean, that it's just designed to allow the supply to adjust to demand, to create price appreciation in all market conditions. And these are the things that separate us from the competition. There's no other project like that. And adding the current emission setting, the decentralized dynamic supply control algorithm, adding those settings to the UI is also something that needs to get done by next week. Some of these things, it was just a matter of we were so hyper focused on making sure everything worked and the vital functionality of everything that we didn't even think about some of that stuff, like adding the emissions to the site. It just completely slipped my mind because I was so focused on making sure everything worked, making sure everything was going. But now that everything's launched, everything's working perfectly, everything's smooth, we can spend our time adding all of these informational details and cool gadgets and gadgets and all of that stuff that people love. We have a great marketing plan moving forward. We have ads going up on DEX tools, which I think is the strongest ad placement you can get in DeFi. After looking at our analytics, I love DEX tools as far as marketing, and we've already got that in place. We're just waiting for them to add our website and our social medias and all of that to our token chart page, our token info page, so that when people see the ad and they look it up, they'll be able to see all our social media and all of that stuff. And that's something that they can do for us manually. Typically, it's typically what you have to do is submit all of that stuff to BSC scan, and then BSC scan takes like a long time sometimes to implement it. Sometimes they'll do it in 2 days. Sometimes it takes 2 weeks. But we have a very good working relationship with DEX tools. We know the guys that run it very well. I've worked with them for like a year and a half, 2 years now. So we know each other, and I have like open communication to them. I can contact the DEX tools dev team. I can contact the owner. I can contact their marketing guy anytime I want. And I just got out of a quick marketing meeting, but I'm going to go back into another one when I get out of this call. I just have spent all my time basically in the chat answering people's questions, directing people and all of that. And then like 15 minutes before this, I jumped into the marketing meeting to discuss the DEX tool situation, discuss our placement, and then I came in here. But when I leave here, I'm going to go back to the marketing meeting and get that plugged away. So there is one farm that I believe is displaying the wrong APY. That's obviously a UI thing. It's off by a factor of 10, I believe. That needs to be adjusted. My UI guy is gonna get to that when he comes on. All of the things that are like little UI bugs will be addressed today. All of that stuff will be handled today, and then just adding the cool stuff like the DCAA display and all that stuff will be done by next week, in the next couple of days. But overall, guys, we had a very, very bullish launch. Considering the market conditions and considering the fact that we've had several delays and there's always going to be some people sitting on the sidelines when you have delays to make sure, okay, is it really going to happen this time? Is the launch going to be smooth? All of this. Considering all of these conditions, we had very, very strong turnout, very nice TVL. If you look at all the other projects in the space that are launching right now, we blew them out of the water, and it's only going to get stronger because I believe that we are as far as the market goes, we're basically in a very strong point. We've had the correction already. I don't think Bitcoin will break under 17,000. If it does, it's not going to go that much lower. I started piling on when we broke below 20K. I started buying millions of dollars worth of BNB and ETH and Bitcoin, and I'm still holding all of it, obviously. And if we do go a little bit lower as far as Bitcoin is concerned, and ETH and BNB, I'm gonna just buy more and add more, because the way I see it is the upside is so strong that even if we had a 50% correction in Bitcoin right now, I'm cool with that, because the upside is 20x, 50x on the next move in Bitcoin, and that multiplied in altcoins. So it's just a risk versus reward thing, and don't be over leveraged, and scale in, right? DCA or DCA. That's the responsible person's way of getting into strong projects over time. I'm very, very bullish on the project. Like, I'm biased, but there's no other project in the space that I would be more bullish about than Animal Farm. It has everything. It has a real strong utility. It has a very solid roadmap that is going to add a bunch of legitimate, strong utility. And one of them, which maybe people haven't seen yet, because I announced this after launch, but I announced it in text. I haven't really talked about it in voice chat now, but there's 700 people in here. We're adding a single asset staking option, which is going to lend your BNB and BUSD in these single asset options to Stargate. Stargate is a cross-chain product ran by Alameda, which is a very high-level crypto VC, to earn an additional 15+% yield, APY, and it's going to be an auto compounding pool. And this is going to be very attractive because there's a lot of big money in this Alameda bridge. And the reason for that is because it's one of the cross-chain options that's fully decentralized and is has very, very good developers and people at the wheel. So big money trusts this project, and there's no auto compounding option. So all of these people that are in Stargate right now, we're gonna offer them a way to get in Stargate while utilizing compound interest. So essentially, what it will do is you stake your BNB, you stake your BUSD, you earn dog APY, you earn AFD token, the Animal Farm dog token, you earn APY in our native asset, plus it's that your BNB and BUSD is lent out to Stargate in a decentralized, immutable, and non-custodial way, which means only you have the custody of those tokens. And then you're earning 15+% APY in Stargate on top of the 70 to maybe 150% you're earning in dogs tokens. And then that capital that you're earning in Stargate is utilized to add back into your stake. So it's going to sell the Stargate token for BNB or for BUSD and compound that BNB or BSD back into your principal, back into your stake principal, increasing your position in Stargate, increasing your 15%. That's going to be very attractive to that big money that that are in Stargate, because now it allows them to manage their capital in Stargate in the most optimal way without having to give up their keys, and benefit have all of the benefit of just being in that product, but the additional utility of it auto compounding for you. This is going to be massive, and it's going to be extremely attractive to everybody, but especially big Stargate players. So that's going to be coming by end of year. Likely it's going to be the next major thing to come, probably along with Dogs Roulette. I would like to get them both out the door at basically the same time, maybe a week apart. Dogs Roulette is finished. We just need to do the UI. And then after that, we're going to do the drip UI. And then we're going to prepare for Scratchy. And potentially while we're raising capital for Scratchy, we may do an auto compounding pigpen option. That'll either be before or after Scratchy, but that's obviously super bullish. You can earn compound interest in the form of BUSD. I mean, what other platform allows you to earn compound interest in the form of BUSD? It's just, and the reason why we're able to do that is because we're providing real utility and real services, profit generating services, in the form of lending to Stargate and lending to PancakeSwap. And this capital that we're lending to PancakeSwap and Stargate is being utilized by them to provide a service in the form of liquidity, both in the bridge and in swaps. There's a fee associated with that, which gets paid out to the people providing the service in the form of liquidity. And that capital is then paid out to the pigpen. So there's multiple forms of cash flows that are going to the pigpen, as you guys know. But at the heart of it, it's real utility. It's profit being generated from services that were provided to other DeFi platforms in an immutable, non-custodial way. So it's very powerful. This is what DeFi is supposed to be about. It's very important to me that a few things happen moving forward. One is the governance voting system needs to get implemented. That's already built. We're utilizing an API to do this. So let me just pull up the name of the API so I can tell you guys the name of it. I got so many things going on that sometimes the names of some of these APIs we're using are escape me. Let me see. Okay, yeah, we're using a service called Snapshot. So there's an API. There's an API called Snapshot that we're utilizing, and what that does is looks at the amount of pig tokens that you have staked in the pig pen, and for every pig you have in the pig pen, it's treated as one vote. And the reason why I like this, or I really love this governance system, is because it puts the decision making in the hands of the people that have the largest stake in the platform. So the people are more likely to make a better decision if it's their capital that's on the line. And if we had it so every wallet, for example, equals one vote, then you have a system where, first of all, people could just make a bunch of wallets and get a bunch of votes that are that are just in there to manipulate the decision making of the roadmap, not actually utilize the system. Or you could have people that have 2 pennies in the system getting the same voting power as someone that has $1 million worth of their capital in the system. So I'm actually not a fan of true democracy. I'm a libertarian, right? So I'm not a favor of crowd rule and crowds being able to take away the right of individuals. I think that rights are something that needs to be earned and protected. And if you can earn and protect your rights, then you have those rights. And of course, we do have some moral responsibility to protect the rights of others who do not have the ability to. But at the end of the day, you should have some stake in the decision making. And this is what our system does best. It allows people that have the most stake in the system to have the most sway in future decision making. But it's not a system where someone can buy out the decision making of the system as well, because the way it works is, first we have a vote in the community, just a regular poll in the Telegram group, and then this will get us the best 2 to 3 options, and then that goes in front of auditors and our dev team and potentially our partners and our marketers and the people that are our YouTubers, and everybody that we know has a wealth of knowledge, and will determine, does this make sense? Is it secure? Is it going to benefit new users? Is it going to benefit existing users? Is it sustainable? And if it checks all of the boxes, can it be done in a fully decentralized, immutable way that doesn't involve custody? If it checks all of these boxes, then it goes up for a final vote. And that's when we use the snapshot API. And that's when there's a vote. So there's never a scenario where something goes up to vote that the whole community dislikes and a couple people with a lot of money get to make that decision, because that's what the initial vote is for. The initial vote with the whole community ensures that the community as a whole gets a say in what proposals go up for accounting, really, or they go up for the decision making. And then it goes in front of auditors, dev team, partners, everybody that I know has a wealth of knowledge that can help us filter out good and bad ideas. And then the final vote goes up to people in the governance staking pool, and they have the final decision on what goes through or not. And the first vote that we'll do is how often the pigpen injections happen. So it will likely be 1 week, 1 month, or quarterly. This is a long-term project. This is a project where we plan to essentially take over the yield generating market on BSC. And this is going to take time, but people are going to realize that we have a better system. We're paying out more yield, and we're able to pay out more yield because we're providing better services and we have a better incentive structure. And at the end of the day, people will do what's best for them when it comes to where they're going to make the most money, especially in crypto, right? So Of course, there's some people that are always going to be whatever is the hot new thing, whatever is the new meme token or whatever. But there's a strong faction of people, especially the people that are doing yield farming in PancakeSwap, for example, that are very knowledgeable, and they're going to do what is best for their capital, and they're going to go where the best game theory is. And those are the people that we're going to attract. And those are typically the people with the most money. So right now, we have millions of dollars. We have something like $2.3 million worth of BUSD, and I'm not sure off the top of my head how much BNB we have, but something like 4 to 6 million of BNB in the dog pound and the BUSD ball. This is without any serious Animal Farm dog transactions yet. This is with none of the V2 lending yet, and this is with only like 2 days worth of deposit fees. So this is only going to grow exponentially as far as the dividend payout. And as those dividend payouts get larger, it's going to attract more people, and this is going to compound on itself. And you guys already see that we have very nice price appreciation on the dog token. And we started out with large liquidity. So, we knew that it wasn't going to do, 100x on day one. That only like shitcoin meme tokens do that kind of stuff. But also, they go to zero the next week. So we have deep, strong, locked liquidity and an incentive structure that is going to allow for steady price appreciation every day, a little higher, a little higher, a little higher for months. And this is the kind of price action that you want to see if you're going to be a long-term staker. You don't want to, if you're locking up capital, you don't want that capital that you're locking up to be super volatile. You want nice, steady gains. If someone decides, if some super whale, someone has $1 million, they decide they want to dump it, no big deal. The price goes down 4 or 5%. Not a big deal, right? So there's no individual in the system that can move the price in a way that would make anybody sweat. And that's what you want in a system that's a long-term yield generating system. That's doing lending and all these other things. You want steady gains. And that's what the dog token is designed to provide. And the Animal Farm token is going to become more and more attractive as these dividends increase. And now is the time that the people who understand the system can buy in at these great prices, because right now a good portion of the Animal Farm pig holders, the pig token, are traders who see it trending on Dex tools and these other sites, and they're just trading it. They might not even have visited the site. So this is an advantage to the people who understand the system, that can take advantage of these price swings that are coming from the traders to pile up now, because right now we're at basically the lowest possible BNB and BUSD dividend that this thing's going to have. At least that's how it's designed. So it's only going to grow. It's only going to get better, and the pigs token is only going to get more attractive. And you guys see that the APYs, as far as how many pigs you can earn from staking dog BNB and dog USD, it's not crazy. The inflation rate is low. The inflation rate is 90% less than what you would see on Ethereum or these other platforms. And that's because we are not generating profit for the user through inflating the token and having the incentive to be selling the token to secure that profit. No, our system is designed where you're providing a service in the form of lending capital. And while you're doing this, you're increasing your position in the platform, and you're earning a reward token that gives you access to BNB and BUSD that's generated from the services that are provided, and the incentive structure of the platform. And that's how the platform is designed to pay out rewards. So if everyone that's staked in the platform is earning the same APY, per dollar, then it doesn't matter how much that APY is, as long as your incentive is using it to increase in the platform. And the reason is because everybody is increasing their position at about the same rate, dollar for dollar. And this uh, this value to the system through the game theory and through the incentive structure, there's no scenario where it makes sense from selling the tokens. So you don't want to see a super high APY on the dog and pig tokens. You want to see an APY that represents the value of increasing your ownership and your position in the platform. And what you want to see is a high APY in the form of BNB and BUSD. And that's only possible if you keep the dog and pig APYs relevant. So the way that I would look at the animal farm and animal pig tokens and farming is not, okay, I'm making 150% APY. That means I'm making $150 more on my capital. Or sorry, not 150%. That don't look at it as I'm making 150% APY. That means I'm earning 150% more dollars on my principal. I wouldn't look at it that way. I would look at it as I have 150% APY on pigs. I'll be able to increase my ownership of the platform by 150% and collect my APY as an owner in the form of BNB and BUSD. This is the way I would look at it. And when you look at it this way, it's not only way more attractive, it just gives you the right vision for moving forward. It allows you to make better decisions. So we have a lot coming up. For the people that just joined, we have a couple UI things that we need to do. We're going to add the different emission states. We have to add the farm and pool future reward payouts. We need to add some more resolution to the numbers in the dog pound dashboard. If you have any questions about whether you're earning in the dog pound, put your wallet in debanked, and you'll see that you are, as long as you've been in there for over 24 hours. We got a lot of new people, so a ton of questions, and most of the questions are ridiculous, obviously, but you got to expect that because it's a new project. There's a lot of people getting onboarded now, and we just have to be patient, and people will get educated. And the more videos that come out, the more people that are talking about it and learning about it, that will settle down, and that's when I think we'll see our maximal growth, because that's when that there's a solid understanding in the DeFi space about what our project does. And once you have a good understanding of what our project does, it's undeniable. It's undeniable that it's a better system than anything that exists that allows you to lend capital and earn yield. So We have a Dex Tools ad coming up very soon. Maybe today or tomorrow. I'll announce it tomorrow if it happens today. But I just need to go and jump in the call with the Dex Tools guys, the dev team. I'm friendly with them. I have fully open communication with them, and tell them, hey, you got to add the site and you got to add all this stuff to the dogs token. So when people see the ad and they come check it out, they can find our social medias and all of that. And now's your time, guys. Now is your time to take advantage before we really hit that exponential growth phase. With my other projects, what has always happened is we had a nice launch on pump, and then a bit of stability, and then a month and a half later, massive growth. And this project is designed to maintain and sustain that growth because it's not inflating the supply to pay out rewards. It's not paying out rewards in our native assets. It's allocating our tokens as a way to increase people's ownership so they can earn rewards in the form of BNB and BUSD. And this is so much more powerful. So now's the time, really. And it's great. And pretty soon, we're going to see Animal Farm Pigs, Drip, and Animal Farm Dogs 1, 2, and 3 on Dex Tools. Right now, so one of the things that that makes it so you're trending on Dex Tools is back and forth trading. And since no one's really selling, there isn't a ton of back and forth volume. So it's gonna take maybe a couple weeks before we start trending on Dex Tools. Because after a few weeks, then there'll be some people that are holding dogs and have been, having dogs in the dog pound that will have reduced their tax, maybe 30%, 40%. And they'll say, hey, the price is up 20x, the price is up 50x. I'm going to pay my 60% tax because I'm about to secure a 14x. And I'm willing to pay the other 20x to the community to secure profits now because they're short-sighted people. And there's always short-sighted people in all investments. And our project is one of the few, if not the only project, that does a very, very strong value transfer from short-minded people to people that are long-term participants, and in the best way possible, in a BNB and BUSD dividend. So we got some big ads coming up. Likely tomorrow we'll have Dex Tool ad. And we have a major YouTuber who we have a interview with coming up. They just wanted to wait till launch. And there's a couple people like that. There were a couple big YouTubers that basically said we can do an interview, but let's wait till launch. They want to see how launch goes. And now we've had it basically an impeccable launch. Everything is running just like it should, and perfect. And it's only going to get better, guys. This was a very hard launch for us because, as I was saying at the beginning, there's like twice the amount of people in here. So I'll say it again. I started building this project many months ago, and then we had issues with developers meeting deadlines, and it got to a point where I had to make the decision that we needed to bring on new developers. And this was a process that took place when the project was like 80% done. And I had to get all the new developers up to board. I had to teach them everything about the project. This took months. And it's very difficult to start developing a project that's 80% done and pay attention to all the details and, figure out all the nuances and all of that. So it was very difficult, and the future projects will not be like that because I have a very strong, very committed dev team, uh, a very good project manager right now who has like a decade long experience doing project management. Um, I decided we needed a project manager about 5 or 6 months ago. So I asked Stonecutter, who's a very good friend of mine and a very good guy, hey, can you fill this role for me? I know you don't have any management experience, but you're trustworthy, you're reliable, and and you're someone that has been providing help for the project for a long time. And at least until I find someone that can fill this role in a professional way, in a more professional way. So he filled that role for us, but a couple weeks ago, or let's say a month ago now, I onboarded a project manager who has uh, a engineering management degree, I believe. He has all kinds of certificates as far as like management certificates and degrees, and he has 10 years experience doing project management for major entertainment companies. And he's also a major investor in our projects, and he's really helped us step up our game, uh, holding people accountable. We have the fiat on ramps. He was able to do that for us, so something that we've been working on for a long time. But of course, I don't have the time to be focused on these things, so I have to delegate them because I'm working on everything else. And I put him on it, and within like less than a week, he got through the whole process. And we wanted to wait until launch to to really just put the final stamp on that because it took some attention that I didn't want to pull away from launch, but uh, we got approved. So now all I have to do is basically say yes. Uh, we needed to meet certain liquidity um, standards, which we do in all of our projects, and now we do on Dog Token. And it also costs money. So it costs like $25,000 per token you add to a fiat on ramp. And thanks to Animal Farm and our ability to earn capital through back end lending without ever having to sell native tokens, we can afford to pay for these fiat on ramps with the BUSD. That is, so there's a 5% platform fee, and this is what we're going to utilize to pay for the fiat on ramp. So it's just great to have a budget that we can spend, which is something we didn't have with Drip. Right, Drip is a 100% community project. There's no dev fees. There's no marketing budget. There's no anything like that. And now we have it, thanks to Animal Farm. And it's all coming from services that we're providing without ever needing to dip into investor capital or sell our tokens or give our tokens away to marketers or anything like that. It's beautiful. And it opens the door to a lot. And this means in about 2.5, 3 weeks, we're going to have fiat on ramps for drip, dog, and pigs. And the best kind of fiat on ramps you can have. You'll be able to go to the Animal Farm site, click fiat on ramp, or click buy dogs. I mean, you click buy dogs or buy pigs. It will take you to. It will give you two options: either swap, like the option we have now, or buy with credit or debit. And I mean, even to say that, it sounds just amazing and incredible and like unbelievable, but that's the reality now. We're gonna have that in a few weeks, and some of that is thanks to our project manager really, putting the screws on it and getting that done. Another major thing is a PR firm that we are speaking to right now. We have a meeting coming up with them, and they are a major fintech PR firm that works with some of the biggest fintech companies in the world. They have connections with Bloomberg and CNBC and all of the Fox Business, all of the major finance channels and marketing vehicles, and they've already checked us out, and they've already agreed to work on a performance-based payment structure, which means they only get paid if their PR and their marketing brings capital onto the platform. So this is what we were looking for. This is why I've worked with other marketing firms, but we never brought them on as part of the team because they all charge flat rates for their services, and you don't want someone participating in managing your budget and doing all of these things if their incentive is only to sell you as many services as possible without any kind of correlation with the capital they bring on or how much or how they're performing. But this major firm is willing to bring on one of their agents as basically a lead marketer for us, and she will work solely based on her performance, her ability, or him, ability. For some reason, I got a woman in mind for this role. I don't know why, but they will fill this role and be paid based on their performance, which is exactly what we were looking for when we're looking to partner with one of these firms. And this is one of the best ones you can get. So it's going to up our marketing capabilities tenfold. So there's a lot more that I can say about that, but I'll say it after we have it fully locked in. But we're confident, and we can afford them, and we're going to put this capital to good work. Any capital which is allocated to marketing, we are going to put to work. And my big thing is not wasting capital. Like, we're not going to get some ads just to get some ads. We're tracking the performance of everything, and we're putting capital to vehicles that work, and it's only going to get better, and especially when we bring on this firm. So this is something that I'm going to be putting a lot of attention on in the next few days. We had a pretty strong marketing push. I mean, if you look at our competition, better than any of our competition up until launch. And then due to the circumstances of launch, I had to put my full focus on the development aspect, partially because it's such a big project, and the dev team came on after a lot of it was developed, so I had to be there for every step to walk the new devs through the process, and partially because liquidity was already added, so I had to do all of the function calls, and because I'm the only ones that could have the keys. So my full attention was on development, but now my full attention can go back to promotion and marketing. That's why I've been in the chat all day, because now I can actually do that. I'm not spending 18 hours a day doing development stuff. So our marketing is really about to kick into high gear. And when you consider our system, our game theory, having better utility, better incentive structure, and just a solid, flawlessly working project, and then high level marketing on top of that, I could not be more excited about where we're going. And then all the stuff we have on the roadmap, it's very exciting, guys. I just feel great right now. Like, I feel like we're in such a great position, and especially after getting some sleep. Right, I didn't feel too great after being up for 48 hours. I got 2 hours sleep in 48 hours, and I felt great with our launch and everything. But after some sleep and reflecting, and now it's the next day, and everything's running smooth, and we got the future ahead of us and all these plans. I feel great, and I know a lot of you do as well. So I'll be around. I'll be in the chat. I'm gonna go jump in a marketing meeting. We have some articles that were written. Oh, also, we brought on 2 professional writers. So We're going to have weekly articles. Also, what we're going to do is have weekly AMAs. So we have a member of our DAO that is putting together a form which we're going to add to the site that allows people to ask questions, and then once a week we'll have a AMA to answer, maybe the top 20 or top 50 questions, just a quick half an hour or hour long AMA, and that will be posted on our YouTube channel. And we're gonna put more attention to our YouTube channel and doing Twitter Spaces, because I believe that we could really blow up that channel as well, which is going to be awesome. Also, this is something that I haven't talked about at all, but I'm working on something very cool. I'm working on something that is health and a product that is health and cognitive ability focused. And I don't want to leak too much about that, but I've been working on basically a profile of different things that I'm taking to help cognitive ability, to help memory, to help brain health, and it's really been effective for me. And I don't see anybody else offering this profile that I'm taking. People are offering them individually. There's a couple people that have products that have like 1 or 2 or 3 of the products in there, but they're all way underdosed. And oftentimes they have like a high caffeine profile, but and then they'll have a couple other really good ingredients, but they're way underdosed. And then people take them, they feel the caffeine, so they think it's working, but they're not really. There's no efficacious dosing of the rest of the ingredients on the profile. And because of this, I've developed my own, and I'm working with it, myself, and it's really had a major impact on me. And I think it would be something cool that I could that we could offer. And anyways, I don't want to talk too much about that because it's not ready yet. But in a couple of months, we're gonna have something very cool, something that you won't be able to get anywhere else. It's going to add a level of health and performance, and it's something that I take myself now. So I'm excited about that as well, and it will be focused towards our people, traders, people that need an edge. It's very exciting. We have so much in the works, guys. So much in the works. It's because there's so many things I love. I have so many interests, and when I have something cool and I have something that I know provides a benefit to me, I want to share it, and I want to provide it to other people. And we have so much in the works. So very soon, lending to Stargate, which is massive. That's going to bring on a ton of big capital. Dogs roulette, auto compounding Bitcoin, new drip UI. We got a bunch of things we're adding to the UI by next week. We have a few like little UI issues, small things like having to add more resolution to the values on the dog pound dashboard. So things like this, the emission rates on the site, these little things, we have to add those. That will be done within the next 48 hours. And then by next week, we should have everything completed as far as all the little UI things we want to add. And then a couple weeks from now, we're going to hit the community with something big, some kind of big development release, whether it's the Stargate lending or roulette, big things coming. And then Drip has not needed to mint a single token to pay out faucet dividends since we launched Animal Farm. So it's working beautifully, guys. And as the value of dogs increases, and as the value of pigs increases due to the higher dividends that it's able to pay out, which will be increasing and compounding and growing exponentially, the value of drip also increases because you can utilize drip with BUSD to generate dogs. And this is going to only add more value to drip. And when drip has more value and it's not needing to mint tokens to pay out dividends, which it hasn't had to do since launch, that's how you get stability and that's how you get growth. So this is just the start, guys. I'm so happy with the launch. I'm so happy with everything and how it's gone. It's a big relief to get that off my back because this has been a big process. It's been a lot of work, and now it's only growth from here. We've cemented ourselves. We've done it strong, and it's just growth. So I welcome you guys to join me. And that's it, guys. I hear someone
You
just
got time to answer one question from the community?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's about the auto compounding dogs. I keep this over and over reoccurring in my DMs. The BNB/dog that will be paid on the auto compounding. They keep asking, do they have to stake this in the pool themselves, or will it automatically go to the BNB dog pool to be staked? And
no, it happens automatically.
So it automatically goes from the wallet.
It happens. Well, it never hits your wallet. So what happens is you stake it in the auto compounding dog pound. BNB that is being sent from the vault to the dog pound. So that's three. So BNB is being sent to the dog pound vault whenever someone does a sell transaction on dogs. That BNB goes to the dog pound vault, and then 3% of that dog pound vault balance is going to the dog pound manager contract. And the dog pound manager contract uses that BNB every time BNB is sent to it to pair with dogs, to buy dogs and pair it to make dog LPs. And then those LPs build up until once every 24 hours, those LPs are staked into the dog's BNB pool and allocated to users. And then 24 hours after that, any pigs which are earned from that stake over the 24 hours is claimed and allocated to users in the auto compounding dog pound. So it takes 24 hours before you've earned any LPs and 48 hours until you've earned any pigs. And then after that, it's every 24 hours you're going to see those values increasing. And you won't see, for example, if you go to the farms and you look at dogs BNB, you won't see that you have a stake if you look at that dashboard. And the reason is because that dashboard is only tracking what you've deposited manually through that dashboard. And the dogs BNB LPs that are staked from the dog pound are shown on your dog pound metrics. And there's a couple technical reasons for this, and also a couple obvious accounting reasons. If you have dogs in the auto compound dog pound, which is accumulating LPs and pigs and earning it, but you also want to stake some dogs BNB in the farm dashboard through that manually, if it just showed the combined of the two, or showed all of them in the dog pound farm or all of them in the farm itself, you wouldn't be able to tell what's what. You wouldn't know, okay, if I withdraw from this, how much is it withdrawing from just the regular farm? How much is in the dog pound? So they're treated separately. So there's an obvious accounting reason and like a user experience reason why we're doing it like this. And also a few technical reasons. One of the technical reasons is that the dog pound, when it stakes LPs, it's doing it in one individual stake. And then there's a management contract, which is just determining how much everybody is owed from that one stake. So there's a technical reason, and there's also a user experience obvious reason where if you stake in the farm manually, you don't want it to show up as your stake in the dog pound. And if you stake in the dog pound, you don't want it to show up as a manual stake in the farm, because then you can't tell which is which and where your money is. Basically. That's that. People will be seeing their values going up. We have to add more resolution so people with smaller stakes can see the value. But if you go on debanked.com, I think it's called. Let me just get the exact name of the site. Yeah, debanked.com. Yeah, if you go on debanked.com and put in your wallet, it will show you your stake in the dog pound, and it will show you how much you're earning and all of that. We worked with the debank to get that up really quickly, and we're also on DeFi Llama and some of these other sites. We're negotiating back and forth with App Radar because we want them to give us some love for Drip as well. So we'll see how that goes, but likely we're going to be up on DAP Radar soon.
Yeah, some of these same investors investors Forex were saying that that they're like, this can't be right. That means BNB will be buying dogs every second on the second every day, and dogs will just continually go up. And they were like, that means dogs would be being bought around the clock, 24 hours a day, 30 days. And I'm like, I think that's the key, that dogs is just going to continually push.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, of course, that can be right. That's exactly how it works. But the thing is, that BNB is coming from people that are selling dogs. So when someone sells dogs, they're taxed. That tax is sent to the dog pound vault in the form of BNB, and then used to buy back those dogs. So it's not only paying out the BNB dividends, it's also going back into the dog's liquidity pool in a way that's appreciating the price. So, I mean, the game theory is just beautiful. But yeah, dogs is designed to appreciate in value. That's why we're saying that our assets, our reward assets, are designed to be the highest price performing yield generating assets ever, because that's how incentive structure is built, and they're the only yield generating assets that has such a bullish incentive structure, which is paying out rewards in BNB and BUSD, not the token itself. So the profit is not coming from the sale of the tokens. And if you do try to take profit from selling the tokens, the vast majority of capital is going to go back to people who are taking their profit in the form of BNB and BUSD, and back to buying the dog token through the auto compounding.
Man, that's freaking literal genius. It's mind blowing to me.
Thank you, man. Yeah, we worked on it for a long time, and this is why when we had V1, we could have just relaunched the V2 in like 48 hours if all we want to do was switch the ability to lend to PancakeSwap V2. But if we had to do a V2, I was not going to do a V2 without creating something that is truly innovative. And when we did the first animal farm, the idea was, okay, how can we create a farm to add incentive to add liquidity to Drip while doing it better and making it more decentralized than other farms in the space? And that's when we came up with the initial animal farm idea, where deposit and withdrawal fees are paid out to stakers instead of the founder or the developers. And that was the initial implementation. But really that was me trying to come up with something relatively quickly to incentivize people to add liquidity to Drip. And my thought was, as long as it's better than anything else in the space and incentivize people to add liquidity to Drip, let's get it done. And we built it and got it done in like a month. Then we had to do a V2, and that's when I was like, okay, we're doing a V2. I really want to go all out here and build something that is just many levels above anything that exists, and really put everything we've learned from Drip, everything we learned from V1, and our years in the space into this project. And that's what Animal Farm is. It's the most optimal game theory and incentive structure you can have, and it's fully decentralized, fully mutable, non-custodial, providing real utility, real services. And the whole time when we were building it, I had other developers building other things, like Scratchy and Dr. Let, and that's why I feel so good that we got Animal Farm off the ground and it launched, because I know that anything that exists in the space have a good solid launch with no issues, and we do that, then it's only progress from there. We're only going to build, and and we did it. So now we have so much coming up that it's just ridiculous. We have about a year's worth of development already done, and a ton of amazing ideas for things I want to do, including individualized lending, which will allow you to stake ETH, stake these other assets, and take out a loan against them, and will be insured. So there's, I mean, there's about 2 years worth of development that I have planned out and ready to build, and a good portion of it is already built. So really, like once a month or every other month for the next couple of years, we're gonna have some big major thing coming out for Animal Farm, and we got a couple of things coming out for Drip as well. We got the new UI, we got a couple new products, which is really gonna support it. So, and of course, everything we do for Animal Farm supports Drip, because you can utilize Animal Farm. You can utilize Drip on Animal Farm. So that's it, guys. I gotta go. I gotta get into this marketing meeting. But thanks, and I'll be in the text chat. So let me know if you guys need anything, and I appreciate all of you.